Sri Gurubhyo Namaga children, you are welcome for online class. This is your third unit, class 11, third unit, Prose Forgettable by Robert Len. And here this is the third part for you. And in the previous first part and second part, we saw that author is just explaining about the forgetfulness, and one keeps in our mind that how a medicine is taken, and one just loses the fishing rod itself interested, and our players just forgetting to pick their balls and other things. So here we have so many things, and he was just telling example by example, and he was telling about a good memory and how people used to make a Guinness record or any record that they have in full memory. So it is because of their interest, and 50% interest and 50% their memory. So it tells very clearly, and in this part is we are going to see the bad example of memories. So sometimes it happens in the cabinet, the ministers. So here in the previous we were talking about the good memory. A person or called an intelligent person, and they have been awarded, and they have been given the intelligent person, and they are just awarded with the praise or gift and certificate and all. But the other hand, we have statesmen seem to have extraordinary bad memories. Let two statesmen attempt to recall the same event. So when sometimes when two statesmen goes and attempts the same thing, and when they come out, what happened, for example, at some cabinet meeting, and each of them will tell you that the other story is so inaccurate that either he has a memory like a sieve or an audacious purveyor of the truth. The frequency with which the facts in the autobiographies and speeches of the statesmen are challenged suggests that the world has not yet begun to produce idle statesmen who, like great poets, have the genuine of memory and of intellectual combined. So here he talks about the two statesmen just attend the same meeting, and when they were just given a chance of speech, or when they had in the cabinet meeting, they both will be just giving not the same message. Each one of them will give different message, and it will be a big question which thing they have been said. So here the author says he might be a sieve. You know what the sieve will do? You seen a sieve? So yeah, you will be just using to filter. So it will be just making the good things down and keep all the bad in it. So there will be a hole in the plate like, and it will be having lot of holes. And sometimes when a rice or something is put, what will happen? It will be just getting all the good rice to be fallen in this, and big stones and something else will be just staying in that. So here the cabinet ministers or the statesmen are called as a sieve, because they will be taking only the bad things. And you know that one more in Indian sieve will be just making like this. Yeah, so that is used, it will be sending all the bad ones out, and it will keep the good ones. So we must be a sieve, taking our good things, not leaving the good things. Okay children, so the cabinet minister was there, he gives an example for those people. Maybe they are absent-minded like that because of that. Okay. At the same time, ordinarily, good memory is so common that we regard a man who does not possess it as eccentric. I have heard of a father who, having offered to take the baby out in a perambulator, was tempted by the sunny morning to pass on his journey and slip into a public house for a glass of beer. Leaving the perambulator outside, he disappeared through the door of the saloon bar. A little later, his wife had to do some shopping which took her past the public house, where to her horror, she discovered her sleepy baby. Indignant at her husband's behavior, she decided to teach him a lesson. So you know that a husband had taken, so there was a husband and wife, and they had a kid, a small baby. So it was sleeping in the perambulator. The husband said that he'll be just taking the baby for a walking. So while he was going for a walking, he had took the baby, and the perambulator was just taking. He was just passing on the way when there was a bar in a saloon. He just left the child with the perambulator there and he entered the saloon to have a beer. So when he was just going inside, unfortunately on the way the wife came for some purchase for shopping, and it was horror, it was a great shock to her to see a child on the outside of the thing. She wanted to teach a lesson to her husband, so she had taken the baby. And let me see what the husband was doing after that. So you can see the perambulator was without a child, you can see in this picture. So it had been taken by his wife, and she wheeled away the perambulator, picturing to herself his terror when he would come out and find the baby gone. So she had taken the baby and with the perambulator, and when the husband came out, he was shocked to see that the baby and perambulator is missing. And she arrived home anticipating with angry relish the white face and quivering lips that would soon appear with the news that the baby had been stolen. What was her vexation, however, when just before lunch her husband came in smiling cheerfully and asking, "Well, my dear, what's for lunch today?" having forgotten all about the baby and the fact that he had taken it out with him. So here you can understand that the baby was taken by his wife, and he had totally forgotten that he had taken the child with the perambulator, and just coming and asking his wife. Wife was very angry. She was not able to control her anger, and she was just thinking and doing that, what I have to teach a lesson for him, let him have a lesson. So she was thinking that whether he will board a police complaint or what, anything will be there, or what she was running in her wife's mind. But the husband was very cool, totally forgetting that he had taken his wife baby, and he was just coming and asking his wife, what is the lunch for afternoon. Just imagine how nice that man is. Okay, so he was cheerfully asking her what is the lunch for him. "Well, my dear, what's for lunch today?" having forgotten all about the baby and the fact that he had taken it out with him. How many men below the rank of philosopher would be capable of such absent-mindedness as this? Most of us, I fear, are born with prosaical efficient memories. If it were not so, the institution of the family could not survive in any great modern city. So here forgetfulness must be there. So you must forget some incident which is not good. Suppose imagine if any death or something had happened in your family, or bad incident which had happened to you, you have to forget. So God made for that. But totally everything forgetting, it is a risky one. So you just think over how many of you were like this husband. So here he forgot about the baby. It is very thing. So the person who has much love and interest in the child would have not missed it, and he has keen interest in something else, so he totally forgets after having his liquor, totally forgets he had taken the child for walking. So this all will happen. So in some cases some other things will happen. So it is all because of lack of interest. So here we have to keep our studies in our mind, and we must not forget. So here he says so many things. Human memory begins to work when the fetus is just 20 weeks. So memory start working when the fetus is just 20 weeks old in the mother's womb. So when a baby is just produced, at 20th week of the thing, the sense of memory will grow in the child. And see, just think over, it must have lot of memory. Clear? So when it goes as a boy or a girl, or after a lady and a woman and a man and an old man. So old man, if they are getting, it's okay, because of so much of worriness, memory loss will be there, lot will be there. But as a man, they must be. So you must be interested in your own thing which you are doing, so that there won't be a forgetfulness. So okay, children. So we'll see about the author. Yeah, Robert Wilson learned in 1879 to 1949, an Irish writer, is one of the greatest essayists of the 20th century. He began his career as a journalist. He penned numerous articles for the leading newspapers and magazines like Daily News, The New Statesman and Nation. He wrote under the pseudonym YY. His essays cover a wide range of simple and interesting topics. They are humorous, delightful, ironical and satirical. Robert Lind was awarded with the honorary literary doctorate by Queen's University. He got the honorary doctorate by Queen's University, Belfast in 1947. He was also honored by the Royal Society of the Literature with a silver medal and by the Sunday Times with a gold medal for Bell's letters. In his essays Forgetting, Robert Lind takes a humorous look at the nature and effect of the forgetfulness. So he gives very good thought about the forgetfulness. Even he had own his experience as a poet. He forgets something he was telling. And children, as your studies are very important, you be interested and don't forget the answers and other things. You just make memories, learn with the interest so that you will not forget in future, and be interested in learning whenever you are learning. So thank you children. We will see you in the next class. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. We will meet you in the next lesson children, next class. Thank you.